And we've ended up with the oldest vines in the world.
That's a treasure.
Yeah, it is an absolute treasure.
Because they're so old, their resistance to dry, and they can be dry farmed because the roots are super deep. They've been there forever. What does it take as far as like meters below? Where are they? And I assume it depends on whether there's hard rock below them.
Absolutely.
Of course,
so the vine roots will grow, as far as they can.
Mm-hmm.
And if you take an area like Vinevale in the middle of the Barossa Valley, which
mm-hmm.
is where our tricentenary vineyard is, so the oldest Yalumba Grenache vineyard was planted in 1889. So we call it tricentenary because the vines have been living in 3 different centuries, which in itself does my head in. Just to think what's happened in the world since 1889. And there've been wars, and there've been, we've flown to the moon. Well, we started driving cars, and we started, aeroplanes and all those sort of things. And
mm-hmm.
these vines have done the same thing every year. Every year they've grown their shoots, grown grapes. Someone's picked them, made them into wine. We've pruned them down every year. So on the top of the ground, we've kept them under control. But under the ground, and in Vinevale, we've got really deep sand. So those roots go down now for metres and metres and metres because, that we haven't controlled.
Right.
So much of the biomass of the vine there is under the ground. And that's one of the great things about old vines is that they're, that so much of them under the ground, they are buffered against seasonal variation much more than, say, a young vine would be. So they don't notice so much, if it's a dry year or a wetter year or a cooler year or a warmer year, really. It might depend. It might make a difference to how their grapes ripen, this week or next week. But they've just got that hold on the earth that's keeping them balanced more so than a young vine. And I think that's, why they are, generally so consistent. And you don't see the not so good years as much with an old vine vineyard as you would with a young vineyard.